Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session. I apologize about yesterday and the inconvenience. I had a little problem with my internet, and I also had a little health setback, so I was not able to log in. Today, I'm going to start the session by working on a DLP, our daily language practice. So I kindly ask that you guys please take a second in your notebooks. Okay, make sure that you have your notebooks prepared and out, and a pen or a pencil to write this sentence down and to make the corrections accordingly. Okay, so we're going to start out with a historian named A.E. Hunting is writing a book about the American colonies. Okay, so let's start with raising our hands if we need to participate, please, in making a correction. Okay, so our first volunteer here is Tela. Okay, so Tela,
Uh,
please give us the first correction, please.
AE should be capital and
AE should be capital. Do you remember, Tela, what is the term that we use to describe the word or the AE? What do we call that?
I don't remember.
But so AE
But
hunting is what? What is it? It's
it's
what?
like a name like in The Outsiders. The author named
S.E.
herself
Hinton,
S.E.
right?
Hinton.
Good job. Perfect. So we know that this is the name of the historian. So is it a common noun, Tela, or is it a proper noun? Is it common or proper, Tela?
Common.
Common? Is it a generalized name or is it a specific name of an author or a historian or
A,
a
s- a specific
specific?
name of an
So it's
author.
just if it's a specific name, is it a common noun or a proper noun, Hannah? I mean, Tala.
Proper noun.
It's a proper noun. Good job. Okay. Now the first correction, again, that Tala gave us a historian named A. E. Hunting. Okay, so Hannah had mentioned that we have to capitalize these words because it's a proper noun. Okay, another volunteer, please, for another correction in our daily language practice. Ward, please give us another one.
American should be capital.
Good job. Okay, American here. Ward, can you give me the parts of speech of the word American?
Um, an adjective.
Good job. And what kind of adjective? Is it a common adjective, demonstrative, or proper?
No, it's a proper adjective.
Good job. And what is it modifying, Ward, please?
Colonies.
Good job. Okay. So a historian. Okay. So another correction that we got from Ward, thank you, is to another correction that we got from Ward is to change the word American to a capital American because American here is what we call a proper adjective. And again, it needs to be capitalized. It comes or it's derived from the proper noun America. Okay, so a proper adjective, we need to always keep that capitalized. And like what said, it is modifying the word colonies. Okay. Any other volunteers for more editing that we need to make for the sentence? Any other volunteers? Okay. I have Ward again. Any new volunteers? How about Mr. Sop? Abdurrahman? Can you give it a shot?
Yes.
Can you give it a shot, honey? What can we hear? What are some mistakes that we see? A historian named E.E. Hunting is writing a book about the American colonies. All right.
American A, it will be capital.
Okay, Warda had made that correction and I made a note of it on the screen. Please pay attention with me to see the correction has already been made. Can you think of another one? I'll come back to you. How about Gesir? Do we see any other mistakes that we could see here that we could spot out in the sentence? I'll give you a hint. It's a spelling mistake, a small hint. spelling mistake? A spelling mistake in one of the words?
Okay.
Guess it?
Okay, I'm just
Take your time
trying
and
to find
think.
it.
And think about it. And I'll
Colonies is
Good job. Colonies. Perfect.
colonies.
Yes, can you please spell colonies correctly?
COLONI.
Yes. How do I make a colony capital? What do I remove? I remove the Y and I change the Y into which letters? Say that again, Gaston. I'm sorry, your voice is cutting up. Do you mind typing it? Gaston, can you type it in the chat? The word colonies, can you type it, spell it correctly in the chat between us?
Okay.
Or you could spell it. Now I hear you. Try either one. All right, Adam, can you give me another one, please? Another correction until guess. Good job, you guessed it. Guess it spelled it correctly. He said COLONIES. Bravo, Gaston. This is a. It was misspelled in the sentence. This is the correct spelling. Another mistake, Adam. You have your hand raised. Please, can you please answer, Adam?
I was going to say colony.
Oh, you were going to spell colonies correctly. Okay, there's another one, and it's very easy. You should be able to spot it out. Tella did give us a good example of S.E. Hinton. How did she write her name? Okay, this is another hint. How about Warda again?
We should put the dots between A and E.
Bravo. And what is that called? What are EA called? Do you remember? There's a term that are used for these when I abbreviate my name into only letters. What is that called?
Abbreviations?
Right, it's abbreviations, but what do we call this? We call them initials. Initials. Thank you, Ward. Okay, so after if you abbreviate your a name, okay, into just a single letter, this is called an initial. And initials, whenever you abbreviate them, you must follow them with a period, okay, and what refer to them here as A dot E dot hunting. Okay, this is your initials, and they need to be, if they're abbreviated, like the author of The Outsiders, or as the historian's name in the sentence. Either case, you must abbreviate them. You must capitalize them, and you must include a period at the end of the name. Okay, so a historian named A.E. Hunting is writing a book about the American colonies, and everything else would be correct. Okay? Any questions regarding our DLP? Okay. All right. So now that we're done with our DLP, we can put that to the side. Okay. And according to our weekly plan for today, we yesterday, since we had a little setback, we were supposed to cover Lucy Stone, champion of women rights, and we remember that we stopped at the part where Lucy Stone was
This
speaking.
stopped when her mom came and told her that her father is gonna make a family meeting to talk about something that they don't know.
Exactly, that's correct. That is definitely correct. We discussed that part where Bowman we ended last, and we saw in the text so far we saw two times where help came to Lucy Stone for help. Can someone remind me quickly of when we saw the two incidents, or at least give me one incident where?
Say?
Yes, Mohammed, تفضل. Go ahead. Tell me.
She done two things, and we also said that Bowman is not like his brother because he's much
What
more
did
nicer.
Bowman need help with?
He needed help with the people.
With the Bible. With the
the
Bible. With reading the Bible. He needed Lucy Stone to read a verse from the Bible for him because he was not able to read it. And how well was she, Muhammad? Did she do a good job?
She did she read it perfectly and she didn't stubborn once.
Good job. All right. We saw that she did it. She read it perfectly. And he even compared her that she was as good as the reverend from church. And he told her, too bad she cannot become one because she's a female. All right. So you already see that women were, disadvantaged. Okay. They couldn't accomplish or achieve things just because of their gender. Okay. The gender or their gender stopped them from being because of being a female. All right. And we saw Bowman said something negative about mom. Okay. What was the negative thing that he said about mom? Who
He
knows? Help.
he said
Okay,
that
Muhammad, go ahead.
he said that mom doesn't know much.
Right. He said that he doesn't want to go to mom because mom does not know much. Good job. Good. And of course, we thought that this is, of course, not something good to say about mother. How did Lucy Stone defend this position?
She said that she knows enough, and she helps. That she also helps around the house. She cleans. She makes food, and she does a lot more.
Good
And
job. Right.
that's
So
how we saw that Bowman is much more nicer, because if it was his little brother, he would say, no, she doesn't know much, and that's it. He said, yeah, actually, I didn't think about that.
good job. Good. So he was affected by Lucy Stone's words, and he did realize that that mom does do a lot around the house, and that she is responsible for so much. And maybe that's why mom doesn't have time to read because she's busy handling the work in the field and raising and caring for the family. And he realizes that, and she opens his eyes to mom's hard work and he feels sensitive to that and he respects it now that Lucy Stone mentioned it to him. Good job, Muhammad. Very, very good participation. Thank you. Okay, somebody else, please. How about Jomana? Can you please tell me what the other brother mention his name for me and tell me what did he request or what was the situation between him and her in the beginning of the play? He didn't ask for help, but there was something that they were doing. What was it? Jumana?
Yes, miss.
Yes. Tell me the name of her brother, please, hon. The one that we met in the beginning of the play. What was his name? Okay, I'll come back to you, Jumana, for that. Ward, please. What was his name? And tell me the situation that happened between them.
His name was Luther, and the situation between them was they were doing a race which Lucy Stone won, and Luther felt like it was unfair because he said that his toe hurt him, and that he stubbed his toe and he used that as an excuse.
Perfect, perfect word. Good. All right. So we saw, and Muhammad did mention that before to us that Lucy Stone has a tough situation because again, she's being raised with male brothers who are more advantaged than her, and also because of her strict father. All right. And we know that Lucy Stone also has goals. Does she want to? Does she see herself getting married soon? Does she want? She's 16 years old. Her aunt is reminding her that she has to keep herself presentable and to look decent because men will be surveying her, looking her over for marriage. Does she accept this proposal? Does she accept this? Zena?
No, she doesn't. No.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, Z. Can you please tell me, does Lucy Stone accept the idea of marriage at a young age?
No,
So
she doesn't.
why? Why?
Because she feels like she is forced to do it.
Um, because she feels forced, or maybe also she doesn't like the fact that she's being forced. But what? How does she view marriage? What did we say? How does she view marriage? Is she Tala, please?
She thinks she doesn't want a man looking her over and taking care of her.
Right. She uses a simile. She says, "I do not
Yes,
like a prize."
and yes, and she says that she will work hard and then he will complain about her not being attractive anymore.
Good job. All right. She says she's unhappy. She's not satisfied with how men work the women. Okay, because they give them a lot of burden. They mistreat them by working them in the fields and complaining that the women are no longer pretty from all the hard work that they perform. So she does not want to be treated this way. Also, it's also mentioned here. How did men treat women back then? They also did something illegal, like men were okay, it was legally accepted to do what, Tala?
Beat their wives.
It's good. Okay, it was accepted for men to actually abuse and beat their wives, and it was legally accepted. And of course, this is not how Lucy Stone wants to be treated. Okay, we know that Lucy's Aunt Sally has an internal conflict. What is Aunt Sally's internal conflict? And how does she view herself? How is her self-esteem? How does she view herself? How? How about Adam Walsall? Please. How does Aunt Sally view herself? Adam Walsall, are you there? Adam Walsall, the question is what is Aunt Sally's internal conflict and how does she view herself?
Miss, can I answer?
Adam, are you struggling with your mic?
Miss, can I answer?
Miss, can I answer?
Give me 1 second. Let me just check on Adam Walsall. Adam Walsall, are you there? Okay. So, Adam, go ahead. Adam Sahla, please answer that for me.
She showed herself like she is unwanted and unknown.
Good. She sees herself unwanted. What else, Muhammad? Please elaborate more.
She says that we notice as a first that she has less confidence, and she says about herself left over
Good
because
job.
she wasn't married at the age of 16.
Good job. Because she's now an older woman and she's not yet married. So she views herself as someone who is not worthy, unwanted, and someone
Or a
who is,
leftover.
yes, leftover, a leftover or a useless person. And of course, this is not true. And we know Lucy Stone is trying to make her feel better about herself. Now we meet here Hannah. Now, Tala, please, I want you to play the role of Hannah. Okay? Tala, as a reader, you're Hannah. And remember, Hannah is Lucy Stone's mother. Okay? So she's Lucy Stone's mother. Okay, Bowman,
It was
Gesser,
me.
can you?
Last time it was me.
Okay, okay. Muhammad, you can continue being Gesser. I mean, being Bowman. Sorry. And Lucy, please. Any volunteers for Lucy? How about Zena? Okay, Zena, you can be Lucy Stone.
Okay, I'll be Lucy Stone.
Okay, and Sally, Jumana, you're going to be Aunt Sally. Luther, you're going to be Yusuf Dahrug. Yusuf Dahrug, you're going to be Luther. Okay. And we need Francis, which is the father. That's going to be
Miss, I want to be Francis.
okay. All right. Adam, you could be Francis. Okay, no problem. All right. Okay, so let's see from how that goes. Eliza, Eliza's a girl. Maryam, you could be Eliza. And Rhoda is going to be Noura. Okay, so let's start. All right, so we're gonna start here with Hannah. talking. Okay, and it's right here. Hannah, continue. Start Hannah.
Oh, there you are, Bowman. Will you please go to the barn and ring the bell to call the other children? Your father has something to tell everyone and Bowman. Tell them to hurry.
You know your father.
Miss, I can't see.
You know your father. Please have the PDF open with you guys. I'm sharing the screen. I'll share it again. You know your father hates to be
You know
kept
your
waiting.
father hates. You know your father hates to be kept waiting.
Good. So
Oh,
so far, let me just ask for a question of characterization. And remember, when we characterize, we give an adjective to describe the character. So far, how is Mr. Francis, Lucy Stone's father? How could he be characterized? Uh,
uh,
Go
that
ahead.
he that he is that he is he's firm and really hates kept waiting as
Good.
Hannah said.
So he's very impatient. Okay, we can say that
Yeah,
he's impatient. He doesn't like to wait. All
and
right. Uh huh.
yeah, and
And he's
always
strict, and you said he's firm. Good. How could we tell he's firm from how everybody's behaving about this meeting? Everybody's so scared and tense because father has something to say, right? So you could tell that he's very serious. Also, does he smile a lot? Does he smile frequently and laughs? And is he a carefree, humorous person, or is he
no
very serious? Muhammad,
serious.
serious.
He's super serious.
Yes, and how could we
No
tell
nonsense.
that from something that Bowman said, right?
This
Bowman
is
made
the
a
no
statement.
nonsense type.
Say that again?
Is the no nonsense type.
Yes, no nonsense. He has no tolerance for any nonsense. And Bowman had mentioned something about he saw his father, and his father was actually smiling, and he was surprised that father was actually smiling. So this is something that Bowman said that gives us a little bit of consideration of how father is. Okay, maybe he doesn't smile frequently. Okay, so here, Hannah, the mom is worried that all the kids have to be gathered for this meeting, and she wants Bowman to tell Luther to hurry up because father doesn't like to be kept waiting. Okay, Bowman, go ahead.
I'll make them hustle. Ma, don't worry.
Hustle means to be what? To be slow or to be
Quick,
quick?
quick.
Quick. Good job, Muhammad. All right,
Thank,
Hannah. Now
thank
she's
you
talking
for
to Lucy. She's directing these words to Lucy.
thank you for lighting the lamp, Lucy dear.
All right, Lucy.
Okay, sorry, I was unmuting. Okay. Mama, I've been thinking.
Sighing. You have to sigh,
Oh,
Hannah.
oh,
Sigh.
oh, Lucy, I wish you wouldn't. Every time you think it means trouble.
Lucy,
Yeah, okay, but that's just it, Mama. I just think my mind
I
won't let
must
me.
think.
I must think. My mind won't let me stop. Here on the farm, I feel as if I'm starving. Mama, is it true that a woman must submit to her husband in all things? If I could only go to college, I could study Greek and Latin and decide for myself.
Oh, Lucy, what a notion. Your father won't, your father would never hear of it.
I can't hear you. Whose turn is it? Hannah?
Yes, I already read.
Okay, say it again. I
Oh,
couldn't hear you.
Lucy, oh, Lucy, what a notion. Your father would never hear of it.
Good job. Okay, so here we see there's Lucy speaking her mind for the first time, and she's saying here that she is starving. And starving here means very hungry. Does she mean that she's starving because she's hungry? What does Lucy mean by the word starving here? She says, here on the farm, I feel as if I am starving. So is she hungry? Starving means hungry. Ibrahim, can you please elaborate? Does she mean starving by the meaning of hunger, food hunger?
This case you get because your voice is lagging.
When she says that I'm hungry on the farm, I feel hungry.
Yes.
Does she mean hungry as in starving?
No.
She's starving as in hungry for food.
No.
So what does she mean by this word? She says, here on the farm, I feel as if I am starving. What does Lucy mean by starving in the sentence?
She means like she can't she like she's poor not poor.
She,
She
that they're poor?
Miss, maybe it's something from the two. Either as a woman wouldn't get a lot of food, or she is hungry for studying Greek and Latin.
Thank you, Muhammad. She does not mean it food wise. She means that her hunger here is for knowledge, for education, to learn, to excel, to succeed in life. Okay? She feels that if she lives on the farm and only does farm work and expect to marry and to be a typical female or a typical woman, this is not life for her. This is not the life that she wants, and this life is making she feels that she's starving. She's missing the part that she wants the most, which is the education and the knowledge. Okay, Mama, is it true that a woman must submit to her husband? Again, she's here, she has a lot of questions for her mom, and she decided that she actually wants to go to college, and her mom of course tells her that her father Francis would never agree to that. Okay, that her father Francis would never agree to her going to school, all right, or to going into university, get a college degree. Okay, continue, Lucy. Zena.
Okay. I could do 1,000 wonderful things.
No, but it
Sorry,
starts here.
no,
But
sorry.
what?
I was on the other on the wrong side.
It's
Okay.
okay.
But what if I approached him in a calm, logical manner? I would say, Father, you must be aware of that I am equal of any of the boys in this family. Do you not conclude that I am worthy of education of an education?
Good job. Hannah, shaking her head, puts her arm around Lucy's shoulder. All right, so Lucy here is preparing herself to have a conversation with her father during that meeting. And she wants him to realize that she is equivalent or equal to Luther and Bowman, and that she also is worthy of an education, of going to college and to learn. Okay, Hannah is hugging her daughter, and the mom is shaking her head, showing that here this is she's not approving of this, or she knows that father is not going to approve of this talk, but she's trying to gently talk to her daughter Lucy to calm her down. All right, Hannah, continue.
when you were first born, I looked at your sweet face, so like a flower, and I wept. Yes, I wept because you were a girl, and a woman's life is so hard. Why must you make it even harder by defying the way things are?
Good. So when Hannah was first born, mom wept. What does it mean to weep? Okay, what does it mean to weep? Ward, please. What does it mean to weep or wept? The past tense of weep is wept. Does it
To
mean to
brawl or
smile?
cry.
To cry. Perfect. Good. Okay, it means to cry. All right. So Hannah cried when Lucy was first born. She said that she looked like a flower. All right, and she looked at her and she wept. Why did mom cry when Lucy was born? Why?
Because she wanted her to be a boy, because the woman's life was really hard.
Exactly. All right. So she felt bad that her daughter she was born a female, and that she knows about the struggles that women are going through, and she doesn't want her daughter to go through the same struggle. And she now thinks that Lucy is making things even more difficult by defying them. And what does it mean to defy? To be with
To
or
do
to
the
be against?
opposite.
To be against.
To
Good
do
job.
the opposite.
Exactly. So she wants her daughter to be submissive. And we said submissive means to be obeying. Okay? If this is the way the things are going, then I must submit and agree to them. Okay? I must not defy them or go against them. Okay? Lucy, continue.
Um, because all around me I see a bright woman with fine minds reduced to a kind of slavery. It isn't right, Mama. It isn't just fair. It
It's
just isn't
just
fair. Isn't fair. Yeah, sorry.
good job. All right. And of course, she's talking about the bright women that she sees around her. An example would be her own mother and her aunt and her sisters. And herself. They're all intelligent women, and she sees that they are treated like slaves. Okay, because again, their rights are taken from them. Okay, Hannah, reasoning with her daughter. All right, reasoning with Lucy. Continue. But my dear,
But my dear child, it isn't your burden. It isn't up to you to turn the world upside down.
strongly, Lucy. Lucy, strongly.
Yeah, sorry, my mic couldn't work. Okay.
No, take your time.
But some. Okay. But somebody must. Why shouldn't I be the one?
Bowman
Um.
enters, followed by Eliza, Rhoda, Luther, and Sarah. They aid Lib boisterously. Boisterously means in a loud manner. Okay? They aid Lib boisterously. They make up dialogue on the spot in a loud manner. Okay, so boisterously is an adverb, means to do something loudly. And they're just talking, making casual conversation. And they come in, again, they're all gathering, remember, for the meeting with Father. Okay, and Sally.
Miss, it's me first.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Bowman.
Here they are, Ma, smiling. They were friskly as spring lambs, but I put them into the fold.
Good job. So Bowman is saying, I gathered all my sisters and brothers for the meeting. The girls and Lucy sit on the settle right, and the boys sit on the left. Hannah sits on the settle upstage. And remember, we said the settle is a wooden chair. Okay. And Sally enters, adjusting her shawl. Okay. And Sally, anxiously. Okay. She's nervous because I think she thinks that she's a little late. Okay. Continue. And Sally, please. Okay, I'll be Aunt Sally. Am I late? Hannah?
Not at all, Sally.
Eliza?
What do you reckon, Papa? Want to tell us?
Reckon. Reckon. Say it again. What do you reckon? Reckon means what do you think? Okay, so Eliza, please, Mariam, say it again. What do you reckon?
What do you reckon, Papa? Wants to tell us?
Good job. Luther? Who was Luther, guys?
Dahruk.
Yusuf, are you there, honey? Yusuf?
Yes.
Okay, you're supposed to be Luther. You're supposed to read this line.
He's probably got a complaint about how we did the haying.
Okay, the haying. Good. The haying is the hay that the horse eats. And haying means when you put the hay into like little boxes. Okay, so he says that Luther is probably upset. That he thinks that Father is going to complain about how they did the field work. All right, Rhoda. Okay, Rhoda, I'll be Rhoda. Well, Luther, you did lean on your pitchfork more than usual. Bowman?
Seemed to me, but Papa was almost happy when I saw him in the field. He nearly smiled at me.
Good. So here, this is what I was talking about when Bowman says that father nearly smiled, and he's shocked, showing that father rarely or barely smiles. All right. Sarah, in mock surprise, Pa nearly smiled. Sakes alive, the world is coming to an end. And all of them
Hush,
laugh uproariously. Yes?
hush, child.
Mhm.
Lips of lip. Here comes your father now.
Laughter stops abruptly. Okay, the kids were laughing and now they quiet down. The children rise. Okay, remember a sign of respect when an adult figure or father or mother come in, especially the father. The children stand up in respect. A stern patriarch enters left across the stand in front of the upstage settle. Girls courtesy. Courtesy means they uplift their skirt and they bend down a little bit, and the boys bow and they're seated. Okay, so we can tell that Francis, the father, gets a lot of respect from his children. Okay, Francis clearing his throat. Okay, who's Francis?
I am a man of few words, and I will not make a book of the matter at hand. This concerns Bowman and Luther and the rest of you as well.
Good job, Adam. Okay, so he's going to make. He says that the meeting is going to be related to something about Bowman and Luther, and everyone is going to be affected by it. Okay, but majorly, it's going to be about Bowman and Luther. Bowman and Luther together. What do you guys say?
Us.
Us? Okay, like they're afraid, right? You could tell that they're worried, exchanging worried looks. The meeting is about us. Okay, so they're frantic. Francis,
It
continue.
seems that it seems that Bowman and Luther have high ambitions. That
Ambitions. Again, say the word again. Ambitions.
ambitions.
What
They
does
want
ambitions mean? That
Goals?
means dreams and goals. Good job, Ahmed Sabir. Okay, they have high ambitions or dreams and goals. They want to go. Continue, Adam,
they
please.
want to go to college.
All buzz with excitement. Francis holds up his hand for silence. Okay, so he wants them to quiet so he can continue talking. Continue.
I have taken the matter under condition
Consideration.
consideration.
Pausing.
They they may go even through it means you girls will have a doubt
To have to
up on
double,
the work.
double up on the work.
Double up on the work. I expect we can do without the boys while they get their education.
So what is father telling them? The girl's grown. The grown means, oh, they're not happy. Okay, Francis looks at them sharply. All right, so what is telling the children or telling the women in the family that hey, the boys, the Bowman and Luther, are going to college, and I guess all the work that they did in the field is now going to be have to be done by you females, by you women. Okay, so the girls are groaning. Are they are going to be happy about having to compensate all that work?
Thank you, Papa. Thank you.
Who's Luther?
Dahrug.
Yusuf, please. Dahrug. Yusuf,
Yes,
please read your sentence. That is mighty.
that is mighty good news. Papa, will you pay for the books too?
I will reckon so. It was the expense to have educated men in the family. I reckon so. It was the expense to have educated men in the family.
What about Jumana?